Hello, thanks for tuning in to Listen In, a music sharing podcast. I'm Kay.
I'm Jesse, the Sentient Octopus.
And I'm Alexis.
And we'll be your hosts for today, sharing some of our favorite tracks that you probably haven't heard before. I think we have no theme today. It's just whatever we're chilling with, right?
Yeah, I'm excited. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Alexis, you're up first.
Yes, I am up first. And I have quite an interesting choice today in that this is an artist that I initially gravitated towards because never heard of them before. And when I listened to their album for the first time, I was like, why haven't I heard of this person before? And I felt that maybe I would be hearing more of this person as the year went on, because this was very early in the year. This was like in February when the album came out, 2019, and didn't hear anything in terms of like other people talking about this artist since then up to now. So it's just like kind of surprising. And I feel like this artist definitely deserves, more recognition, definitely needs more people listening to their music because it is just such a great time. Yeah, I'm really excited to share this artist who is Rina Mushonga. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. The song is called In a Galaxy, which was a very hard choice for me to make because I feel like there's at least 4 songs off the album that I think are worthy of like a good introduction for the artist. But I feel like In a Galaxy kind of gives you the quintessential sound of the artist, like their vibe, their songwriting. In a Galaxy is the name of the album as well. So if the song ends up being something you like, I think it gives you like a good signpost as to like what to expect from not just the artist, but the album as well.
Sounds great. Can't wait to hear it.
All right.
And I know you got emotion now. And I wonder how I won't hold my breath for you to show up, 'cause we're a world apart. It's like you're from another galaxy, but I couldn't reach that far. You know I've tried, we're
Whoa, that was amazing.
That was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was so surprised. Like it starts out with this like slightly synthy poppy vibe, and then just like that when the reggae bass line hits, it's just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Like, because I have rarely ever heard reggae where the vocalist does not try to put on some sort of Jamaican accent, which is just kind of part of the genre that like even US artists who aren't necessarily Jamaican, or like there's a lot of Polynesian reggae artists who kind of put on the accent. Not hearing that at the beginning was like made it extra surprising for me.
Yeah, I can imagine hearing kind of like the instrumental beginning of it, and then out of nowhere, it's just like these very beautiful, gorgeous vocals just coming out, and you're like, whoa, okay.
I really loved that little like synthy doo-doo-doo-doo that was happening. Did you all hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of came in and out. I feel like if it was just straight through the song, it would lose its effect. But I felt myself waiting for it to come back, which was such a cool effect. It was so well produced.
The reason behind picking this song was this is something that I've been listening to a lot more lately, and from listening to it and enjoying it, I have been picking up on a lot of these like really interesting sonic details that there's just so much like really small subtle details in the production that just put a smile on my face, like that layering that you mentioned, Kay. As I've been listening to it for the past week, it seems like every single section of the song like is always introducing something sonically that is a little bit different, whether it's panning or like an instrumental layer that wasn't there before, doing something different rhythmically or melodically. And I think this song is just very, very smart, and it just feeds you them at the right time. And it's just like, oh, I really like these choices.
Yeah. It feels like it changes genres like at least 3 times in the song, but it still feels like a cohesive whole. That melody is still kind of tying everything together, and it's beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah, it really keeps you on your toes and keeps you interested without feeling jarring.
Yeah.
Which I feel like sometimes I like jarring, but this I felt like I could either choose to just have it on in the background while I'm like cooking dinner and just vibe to it, or I could put on my good headphones and just really listen closely and still get a lot out of both experiences. What a cool song.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. I was introduced to this song while listening to it in a very passive way because I was working at a hotel at that time. All my listening was done passively, and I was like, oh, I really like this song, or I like this album, just enjoying it on a very passive level. But lately I've been trying to listen to it in a more active way and finding it also a very interesting experience. There are parts in the song where I'm just like, I'm not sure what they're saying. There's a line in the song that says, I made up my mind, but I wasn't ready. I came to you, but I feel unsteady. And I'm not sure if the word is unsteady or if the word is I'm feeling steady. Either way, it's going to be a very different takeaway.
In a way, the song could be either way too. Like sonically, it could be a steady, you have that sort of steady rhythm once it kicks in.
Exactly.
You have the steady melody going pretty much throughout, if I remember, like it just keeps coming back. But it could be unsteady because, like we said, so much is changing.
The soaring, like floaty vocals on her high end also adds to that feeling of uncertainty, I think. It's not totally grounded, but still emotions are happening.
It's like floaty, but it's also, their voice had some depth and like a little bit of rasp or husk to it too.
Yeah.
When it got to that intro without a whole lot happening otherwise, I was like, what a cool voice though. What a great way to let that voice shine.
The way she utilizes it in, various colors and various textures throughout the song definitely is like one of the big things that like really drew me into it. But also the way it kind of contrasts to the myriad of sounds and genres that are happening just beneath it as well, like keep me coming back to it. But I think like for people who are really into like 80s synth pop music, they will probably find a lot to enjoy how fresh it sounds.
Cool. I'm excited to share mine with y'all. The group is called the Night of Seokyo. They're South Korean. They're sort of a mysterious group. There are maybe 4, maybe 3. I've also seen some people say 5 members. Not all of their names are known. They're all producers and multi-instrumentalists, and they actually use letters when they are referring to themselves. So they are like the Night of Seokyo A, the Night of Seokyo B. It's very different that they aren't like the ones in the limelight. Their videos are normally like them performing the song. I think there were only 3 of the producers and multi-instrumentalists in this video, so unsure of the number here. They collaborate with a lot of different vocalists. The one on this song, her name is Dawon, and she has worked with them on several other songs. I just adore her. She's so cool. They first released music, The Night of Seokyo did, in 2016. And pretty soon after that started working with Dawon and had a lot of releases with her over the period of a couple of years. It seems more recently they've been moving to other singers. Their sound kind of leans toward, they say city pop, and I've heard other people describe them as city pop. But when I think of city pop, it's not the sound that I think of. So I have no idea how to describe them. The song that I've chosen today, although so many of theirs are so good, is called Storyline. There's an English version and a Korean version. I picked the English version. I don't think that their songs are the type of songs where the lyrics are really the prominent thing. A lot of it is going to be the vibe, the voice, etc. Storyline has a finger-picked acoustic guitar over top of their usual sort of synth sounds, and it's just got this really great groove to it. So it's a song that I go to if I need to feel good. Like I need a feel good song to perk me up a little bit, but I don't have the energy for that like super bubbly pop sound. They are just so good. I'm so excited to listen to it.
All right.
Let's go listen to it.
When you look into in my eyes, it is hard to control my emotion. One thing you can do is just writing our storyline. I cannot take my eyes off you, though the atmosphere has changed between us. One thing I can see is just pouring starlight in your smile. Slowly I'm losing my mind. How can I get to know more about you? I like the way you're talking, making our storyline. Your smile with a twinkle, your standard rigid with the moonlight. I like the way you're moving, hold me now or shall we dance? Like a star, like a moon, like a mirror in the sky. Like a star, like a moon, like a mirror in the sky.
Wow. Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, there is so much going on. You mentioned the lyrics aren't really the focus, and like I agree. Like they're fine. They're like a little poetic, which is a little floral. But I honestly had a really hard time paying attention to what was being said because there's just so much going on with the production. One thing that really stood out to me that I kind of fixated on a little bit was there was these kind of shimmering background, what I normally hear as like digital artifacts of like if my sound card is dying or something or is messing up and like my sound is glitching on my computer, I might sometimes hear that sort of like digital chirping noise, but it was clearly intentional because of the way it was going up and down. And it's just like, wow, that is such an interesting idea to just add that into a song on purpose.
I really like choices like that because I feel like for an aesthetic, I think, yeah, it's cool. But like, I think to me, it sounds like they are also trying to make this an experience in a way where it's less of just like, hey, this is a very cleanly put together, executed digital track. And you're just getting all the elements, fed to you in a very pristine way. And, making these choices where they're conscientiously making you think about the medium in terms of like how you're listening to it, how you're consuming the music, and things that are more physical or things that are jarring. How Jesse's talking about like these are the types of things that you would hear like if there's like an audio technical difficulty. It's kind of taking you out of the listening experience where you're thinking of like, oh, I'm just consuming a song right now. There are these things that are making you kind of realize your place in the moment. It feels like I'm having a dialogue. It creates a more organic connection to the song rather than here's like a sound file and I'm just getting fed the sounds. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's like playful too. It feels like there's communication almost, like a back and forth or like a duet between the singer and the instrumentals, especially with the guitar at the beginning. There's so much going on. I feel like I need to listen to it like a couple more times just to get everything in. Fantastic.
One thing you mentioned that it was hard to focus on the lyrics. Like it is really difficult to really focus on the singer as a singer, but they almost use her voice as another instrument in this huge like soundscape of sound that they're giving you. I love a lot of different things happening in a song. That is sort of their sound. This very busy, but it never to me feels so busy that it's overwhelming. It feels like you can just focus on that acoustic guitar and the rest can kind of become background noise without overwhelming you.
Or listen to the singer or listen to like the rhythm going on. Like anything you focus on is just so supported by the rest of the production is, yeah, you're going to enjoy it no matter what you do.
I feel the exact same way in terms of like how I was experiencing the vocals, and that it felt like the vocals were more of like another instrument rather than this is a vocalist presenting vocal performance and a way to kind of like experience the lyrics as a vehicle to what the emotional fabric of the song is. And this is also something that's making me very interested to not just go back to the song, but like also to just more of their music. Having this as my first experience and really being fascinated with like what the vocals are doing on this song alone, it makes me wonder what experience is a Night of Seokyo song without Dawon? What are the other vocalists doing on these other songs? Just as is with just the music itself, there's already something very, very interesting and very deep going on. When Dawon is introduced to the mix, now it's an even more deeper experience. To think that there's other singers on their other songs, it has me very, very interested in how it changes the entire picture.
I think they said in an interview that they worked so well with Dawon. For a little bit, she was considered another member of Night of Seokyo. It was super hard to find any information on them. I don't know if there's more available in Korean. From what I can tell, Dawon has just like released a solo track. She's released a couple tracks with other people, and they've been releasing with other singers. So it seems like maybe they worked together a lot for a few years, and now they're moving off in different directions, but we'll have to see what happens. I do want to say that she is just the coolest person. Go look at those videos. She is just so effortlessly cool in those. I want to be her.
It made more sense about your detail about them being referred to as letters instead of as names once I heard the instrumental, because it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, my impression is that most Korean pop is so image-based and so character-based, and the sound of this band is just so different than all the K-pop that I hear.
But I think that what we would consider K-pop definitely is. I think they're considered K-indie, which is a whole other genre, a whole different ballgame. I have some other K-indie songs I'm excited to share with you all that is not what you expect when you think of Korean music, since K-pop is so big globally.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
What do you got for us?
So my song is from a band called Sammy Rae The Friends. The front person and band leader Sammy Rae had always dreamed about leading a band since she was young, and so she followed her dreams and made it materialize around herself. She grew up in Connecticut, moved to New York, and the great thing about being in New York is that the music scene there has so many great musicians to pull in. So they formed an 8-piece band with a rhythm section, guitars, horns, background singers, and dancers, and they put on big energetic performances with crowd surfing and other fun stuff. In interviews, Sammy Rae is very conscious of herself as being a queer artist and expresses a lot of that in some of her music videos, particularly exploring ideas around gender roles and identity. Discography-wise, they currently only have EPs and singles, and they're fairly prolific, but no major album efforts yet, and I think a lot of that is because they've mostly been focused on performing live. The single I'm about to show you from their 2018 EP, The Good Life, is a kind of jazz doo-wop hybrid, but I'm okay with giving away those details early because what stands out to me in this band is that Sammy Rae as a vocalist is really special in terms of her vocal quality and technical things that she does. So I am happy and excited to have you hear it. Let's give it a go.
No one calls and all the window plants are dying. She talk it up, half empty cup, half-hearted love, half of the time halfway through crying. But she don't live here by herself, sleeping in the bed she's made, reading books about self-help, working late on Saturdays, like she got something instead. For heaven's sake, keep him awake, make no mistake, he break down daily with no warning. When you're 20 years old, do as you're told, get bought and sold, it's cold, it's early in the morning. And he's living on 10th Street, getting home right around dawn. Every night of every week, he's proving everybody wrong. Any day now, it won't be long, so listen, I say, don't just stop it now, come on and give them all what they came here for. Never been done the same before. Talk it up till your face gets sore. Don't just stop it now, come on. Half a mile we'll see the shore. Captain, how can you be so sure? Talking up what I came here for. I've been holding my own, my rag and bone, like up alone. Now don't forget to double check it. Now, no. When I learn to rely on me and I straighten my tie, lace my own boots, zip my own jacket. Because I did the best I could. I got taken down again, but I got fire in my blood. I got sugar on my skin, and I got nowhere to begin. So listen, I'll say, don't you stop it now. Come on and give them all what they came here for. Never been done the same before. Talk it up till your face gets sore. Don't just stop it now. Come on, half a mile and we'll see the shore. Captain, how can you be so sure? Talking up what I came here for. What you put in, so you cannot get upset if you're just dipping your foot in because you don't wanna get wet and you ain't made it big yet. Don't you stop it. Give them all what they came here for. Gotta talk it up till your face gets sore. Don't just stop it now. Half a money will see the show. Captain, how can you be so sure? Talking up what I'm doing it all for. Don't just stop it now, come on. Give them all what they came here for. Never been done the same before. Talk it up till your face gets sore. stop it now. Come on, half of my neighbors see the song. Captain, how can you be so strong? Talking up what I came here for. Don't just stop it now. Whoa, never been done the same. Talk it up till your face gets sore. Don't just stop it now. Come on, half of my neighbors see the song. Captain, how can you be so strong? Talking up what I came here for.
I'm going to be jamming to that all week.
Oh my gosh. I am in love. Wow. That was amazing. I don't even know where to start. It's like I mean, so even just from the beginning, I don't know like how much the two of you are like into video game music, but that intro reminds me so much of how a lot of video game music, especially from the 80s and the 90s, really drew upon pop music. It was just really refreshing to hear something like that, because that kind of songwriting really resonate with me, and to see where it goes after that was a very big surprise for me.
Are you talking about the intro with the horns?
Yes, exactly, with the horns.
Like moving in parallels the whole way, but in like very weird ways at the same time?
Yes.
That, I was like, okay, I'm in. I'm clicking like on Spotify right now. And then she came in with that voice, like, and I know you said jazzy doo-wop, and I was already excited for jazzy doo-wop, but I think I underestimated how much she would be a jazz vocalist. She has so much jazz.
She's very much a callback to like 1920s, 1930s style jazz, but still with a lot more, I guess, nuance to it. Like there's more complexity going on, I think, than like traditional jazz songs.
Oh yeah, it was so modern. And all of the backing vocals coming in were just so cool. I'm overwhelmed right now, and I feel like I need to listen to it 5 more times, and then everything else she has ever released.
The more recent stuff that they've done is kind of a little more funk Latin stuff. So like they're really taking advantage of the type of band that they have, the type of instrumentals that they have, exploring those avenues. The things that really pop out for me, because I'm a more vocally focused person, my absolute favorite thing is the way she arpeggiates during the chorus. And that's kind of her signature vocal thing that she'll put in most of her songs. There's so much pop to the staccato there. And then like when she holds notes, there's like a little shimmer in her vibrato. Yeah, I just can't get enough of it. Like every time she does one of those, it just like gives me butterflies.
The way she approaches singing and her vocals is just so amazing, and I like the variety that we get from them throughout the song, especially like when there are moments of gradually intensifying distortion that happens throughout the song. It kind of just creeps up once or twice at maybe the 1/3 mark, and then later on in the song, like the distortion like definitely kicks up even more. And I really like seeing that progression in how something so sweet throughout most of the song ends up having a bit of an edge at the same time. And then one of the vocal effects that really blew me away, I was not expecting, was on the last third of the song, where there's like this quivering sort of effect, and it's just like really, really beautiful. I could just listen to this so much and just be totally enamored and enchanted by the singing from start to finish.
I looked at the lyrics, and I might be misinterpreting them. There's sort of a little bit of insecurity in them. And I feel like we feel almost a little bit of panic before it comes to this, no, we're doing this sort of self-assuredness. And it was a cool journey to take on.
Yeah, with the lyrics, I was kind of imagining it being something like maybe she tells herself before a gig. In her interview, she did kind of discuss how when she was younger, she had a lot of trouble going to parties, for example, but she had this one denim jacket that if she put it on, she felt like totally feeling herself, and she could go to a party and not have to worry about presenting as anything other than herself. And that's the same sort of mindset to me, giving yourself a pep talk and just making yourself more confident and reassuring yourself.
And in a way, it felt like we heard the pep talk come into effect as the song went on. And to be able to deliver it with that much depth is just really wild.
I really appreciate you digging into the lyrics. I was smiling the entire time, like literally the entire time. Was just really swept away with the music, the instrumentation, the songwriting. Like I found it very hard for me to like really hone in onto anything lyrically now that I have like the rearview mirror in view, that it is actually making me recontextualize what that experience was like, because to me I was like, oh, this is really bright and sunny, and now I can kind of see that sound is bright and sunny as a way to kind of reinforce that feeling of wanting stability in that confidence with yourself.
But I might not be interpreting it the way that she wrote it, but I think that's part of the cool thing of lyrics, right? Is that you might look at them and hear something different or feel something different, and that's okay. I was also smiling the entire time. I think I bounced up and down a little bit. There may have been a little bit of squealing when the horns did that cool thing at the start. I can't make any promises, so I'm going to delete that part of the recording so you never know.
No, keep it in. Like I've listened to it at least a dozen times now, but like I'm still jamming out to it 100%. It's just a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, I think both of these songs that you've brought to the table are instantly going into like my I am going on an adventure today sort of playlist. It's like I want things to kind of accompany me in a way that's pumping me up, and both of the songs I think really do that for me. And I'm just looking forward to not just hearing those songs again, but hearing more from these artists. Just totally thankful and grateful for being introduced to these two artists.
Same. It's been so fun, and I'm so curious too, Alexis, to listen to more from Rina.
Yeah.
Super excited to hear more from her. That production was just so good, and her voice added so much to it.
That was awesome. This is a lot of fun.
Do we have to do an outro now, or should we record an outro later? Or do we just cut? This is the outro. We're done.
Thanks for listening.
Nice.